Happy Friday, Holy Family. It's Friday, May 21st, and I hope you've had a good day. I hope you're looking forward to a great weekend, and you are going to hear an awesome podcast today because I'll be joined shortly by the person that I have been told has been the best guest on the Positively Family podcast. That is Mr. Jason Dole, our middle school athletic director and PE teacher. It's going to be awesome, so let's go.
Kane is in the building.
Yeah. Already the show goes on all night till the morning. We dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when you come on the show. What's up?
Well, thanks, as always, for tuning in. Glad you're here. The conversation coming up with Mr. Dole is one you're going to really enjoy. So, again, thanks for tuning in. This is Positively Family, the Holy Family Happenings newsletter podcast that exists for two primary purposes. First and foremost, we want to provide for you the Holy Family Happenings weekly Holy Family newsletter in the most easy-to-digest way possible, which is to listen to it. And we also exist in order to grow as a family and become more familial. We get to know each other and hopefully come to appreciate one another as we do so. So thanks for tuning in. Really, really glad you're here. Man, the last week or so has been interesting. The timing of everything couldn't have been much more challenging. But I gotta say, again, I looked at the survey responses and overwhelmingly, really just thank you for being so gracious and understanding and patient and encouraging to the teachers and to Heather and me. It has been super, super challenging. And emotional topics ultimately have been put at the feet of the kids in some ways. So it's unfortunate the way some of this stuff has unfolded, but I thank you for being so gracious because, again, so many of you have been patient and understanding and kind and just trying to be partners with the school and doing what's best for kids, and that's all we can ever ask. So thank you for that. But let's do our prayer before we get started, and then we'll get you your buzz. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Gracious God, we thank you for another day, another week, another chance to try to get things more right than we did yesterday. So thank you for the opportunities to grow through our mistakes and through our suffering, and thank you for children who lead us to you. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Here comes your buzz, friends.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz?
Well, here it comes, your buzz, folks. Principally speaking, I just kind of shared what I just said to you, which is just it's been a week of surprise, and really overwhelmingly, the response from our families has been super encouraging and positive and helpful and gracious. So thank you for that. Thanks for giving us, especially giving the teachers, some grace when this is just a tricky situation for everybody. Frankly, we want what's best for the kids, so that's where it's important that we partner and work together for the kids. Just a quick update on lunch. That on the last day of school, the 28th, it's going to be a cold turkey sandwich, baked chips, carrots, applesauce, and there will not be an alternate. So that's on the 28th. And the 27th, up at LaSalle, it's going to be a special out lunch, but I think everybody knows that, so the kids don't need to bring a lunch. We've taken care of dietary issues. Otherwise, it's going to be Chick-fil-A for the day, so that'll be really fun to go along with their fun day. And if you have not told me you'd like to volunteer on the 27th, we could use you for a few hours or a half day or a full day. It's going to be really fun. Then we do have some yearbooks still on sale in the main offices at the schools. Those are for $20. And then open conversations have begun. So last night we had our first open conversation. We had a few staff, a teacher from each building, and then myself. And then we had 7 or 8 parents come, and we had a great conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and looking at race and culture at Holy Family and how we're going to do this well and what that looks like. So we just started kind of the planning process, but mostly this was kind of getting some ideas out and some interests, and it was really beautiful. So that was a blessed opportunity. So thank you for everyone who came, and keep your ears and eyes out for future conversations on diversity, equity, and inclusion if you'd like to participate. It's good stuff. Tuition fees and lunch account balances. It's just a reminder that all the tuition and fees do need to be paid for food service and lunch by the last day of school, the 28th. And then for tuition and fees, if you have any questions, you can call the business office and talk to Todd or Julie at 390-6512. Then the plant sale, just a thank you to everybody who contributed to the plant sale. If you sold, if you purchased, if you helped, we raised over $4,200. And so the biggest thanks then goes to Shelly Hughescamp, who organized all of it. The company, as I understand it, threw her some curveballs, but she did a great job, and we did a great job for the school for that. So thank you, Shelly, and everybody. We do need new parents to join the Parent Association board. It is actually a good time. We get things done. What we'd like to do is have at least one parent from every grade level to do that. And we do have co-chairs to run it next year to fill in the huge shoes of Denise Fillenworth, who's just done a phenomenal job. But we could use more people on the board that meet once a month and help us put things together like fundraisers and social events and things that support the teachers and staff, which we love to do. So if you know someone who would be great, you can nominate them, or if you would like to join, you can let us know. Shoot us an email at lasallepa@holyfamilycr.org by May 24th. Then we do need some. No, we don't. We don't need builders. That just got filled. We have a volunteer, thanks to Kurt Gibbs. He's going to help us build our Gaga Ball pit. I think we might start that as soon as next week. We have all the hardware, and we just need the lumber now, so that's exciting. Then there's a Lost and Found at St. Jude and LaSalle each, so ask your kids to take a peek in there. We will donate things that are left here once the school year is out. Then the LaSalle Athletic Department Fall Can Drive is coming. I mentioned that to you last week, but you can start saving your cans now so that the first week of next October, you can bring those in as a fundraiser for families who have a hard time paying for fees for athletics. Then at LaSalle, we do need some Fun Day volunteers, which I mentioned earlier. We will feed you a Chick-fil-A lunch, so you should do it. Then we have updates from PE and athletics from Mr. Dole, and those have been in the newsletter for a couple of weeks, so I won't repeat that one. And we still need a football coach for the Regis LaSalle St. Joe's football team. So contact Aaron at aaron@mjsia.com to let them know you have interest or see if you have any questions that you need answered. Then St. Jude Elementary School news. We had our 4-year preschool graduation. It was beautiful on the 19th and just had a great time. So congratulations to all of them. Wish them very well as they begin kindergarten next year. Looking forward to seeing most of them back here next year in kindergarten with Miss Riley and Miss Peck. That'll be a great kindergarten class. And then Olympic Field Day is coming up. PE teacher Mr. Cook is planning that for grades K through 4. He's assigned each classroom a country to represent, and your classroom teacher will let you know what color shirt to wear for your country. That's going to be on Tuesday the 25th at 1:30. And he is going to have 10 different event stations, 2 of them being rest stations. The Parent Association will provide waters for the students, and that we still need a few volunteers for that event as well. And there's a link in the newsletter to sign up to volunteer for that. And then there'll be an award ceremony for students in grades K through 4. It's going to be a short ceremony on the last day of school, the 28th. That'll be held outdoors at the LaSalle football field, weather permitting, and then all children will receive at least one award. Unfortunately, there are no guests allowed at this, but plenty of pictures will be taken and uploaded so each family will be able to see their child receive awards. Then Xavier High School, partner parishes, and community news. The free volleyball clinics at Xavier are coming up, which I've already shared with you before. There's the St. Ludmilla Catholic Church Social Justice Gathering on the anniversary of George Floyd's death, so that'll be Tuesday at 6:30. And couple more co-launches are coming. I've read this to you before. It's in the newsletter for a couple of weeks here. But the bake coordinators will plan on having 4 bakes, June 12, July 17, September 18, and November 13. And co-launches do need to be pre-order. You can order co-launches with a link, and you can also use that same link to help make the co-launches. And that link is in the newsletter. Actually, I can just read it to you. It's www.stludmilla.org/collage/bakes. So that's not too hard. And then once again, Xavier Youth Summer Camps and CR Bulldogs has information for you. But those are also repeats. So not a ton of new stuff, but a few things have been freshened up for the buzz this week. So hopefully that information is helpful to you. I know you're going to love this conversation that we have coming up right now with Mr. Jason Dole. So thanks again for tuning in. Enjoy this.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you, getting to like you, getting to hope you like me.
So that was your buzz, and now I'm super excited to have Jason Dole back on the show. This is your second time, right?
Second time.
Once each year.
Yep.
Let's make sure we don't dip below that average.
Okay.
Let's always have you on the pod at least once a year, because I think the people like to hear from you.
I hope so.
Giving the people. Someone earlier today said, "I'm glad you're having Jason Dole on the podcast. He's the best show you've ever done." So I hope we don't disappoint. So I just want to talk about a couple of things. This is a segment called Getting to Know You. Man, my chair needs a little WD-40. This is Getting to Know You, but you've already been in the pod and people kind of know you a little bit. But I want to do just a couple of things about this year, kind of what the athletic director and PE teacher, Mr. Dole, was doing this year. So if I can ask you a couple things about that. So, well, we started the year, not only, everybody was dealing with COVID, and some people were dealing with the retro in different ways. You were dealing with the retro in a big way.
Yeah.
Stuff got torn to shreds.
Yeah, I got destroyed. So, yeah. Well, so a lot of our athletic stuff, as everybody knows from coming out and helping after the derecho, got destroyed or got damaged, and so a lot of it had to be taken away and disposed of, and we had to get replacements for everything. So in a lot of ways, the first half of the year and maybe even into the second semester, I felt my job was talking to insurance agents and getting all that stuff replaced. So as everybody knows that's listening, that's talked to an insurance agent.
We did a lot of that.
It took a lot of time. Took a lot of.
Still is.
Yeah.
People here last week.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. So we did a lot of that. If anybody's been out to the site, out to the football field, we have new scoreboards which look great.
Yep.
We have new seating in a lot of areas, so that's great, and fences, and so we're getting all that stuff done, and there's still a little bit of work to do, but yeah.
Are the batting cages up for softball and baseball?
Yes, they are. So thanks to Saints Baseball for
and the nets are up inside
hanging up those nets. Yeah.
Awesome.
So those are ready to go. But man, it's been a long time coming, but we are where we are because we're people that persevere. So
a lot of persevering, and because there's people who are good to us. You've been working your tail off. That's part of why we are where we are. Yeah. And then
donors.
And we've had some people be good to us.
Yeah, which has been fantastic.
Still being good to us.
Yes, you all continue to be very generous with your time and talents and treasures. So we couldn't do this without you. And we're just so fortunate to have the people we do looking after us.
That's going to be a fun one because I only listen to the podcast back if Johnny wants me to play it like at bedtime or something like that. He's like, let's listen to the show. And he'll be like, someone gave you treasure? He's going to have a lot of questions now.
Hi, Johnny.
So a lot of rebuilding, and then kind of metaphorically speaking, we had to rebuild what we do, right? Like we want to offer kids experiences besides just information and obviously faith development. We want to offer them these activities that we offer, speech and obviously lots of sports if we can. So this year was sure different. Like, what was your thinking or your MO, your modus operandi? What was your approach as you were going to, and maybe it shifted throughout the year, right? As we kind of got a sense of what's working and what's safe and what's not, and what are people nervous about, and what was your approach as you're trying to offer sports for everybody? Yeah,
so for the athletics program, we wanted to offer as much as we could as safely as we could throughout the year. So we looked at guidance from, as you know, Zach, you get a lot of information from a lot of different sources, and so you're sifting through that. But then we, as a school, make decisions, and I made decisions on what we could do, and all the research shows in PE and athletics that the more we can get kids moving, the better it is for their brain development and them as a person, just physically and mentally. And so more than ever is that necessary. I remember last year looking at some, or before the pandemic, I was looking at some stuff and some things that didn't end up happening, some professional developments that I wanted to go to, and they were all about movement and depression and its effect on that. And so those didn't happen because we couldn't meet and everyone was figuring this out. But just having a whole session on that even before this happened kind of speaks volumes to what we do as athletic directors and PE teachers, because it has a huge effect on the development of children all around for their whole self. And that's what I as a teacher want to do, and hopefully as a school we're doing well.
Awesome.
It's teaching the whole student, teaching to the whole person.
I was just talking to a family on a tour yesterday about that, about how we still offer recess all the way through middle school, which I think think all the Catholic schools do. Maybe I don't think it's as common in the public schools, but there are other schools, public schools or private, around the country that are offering more than one recess a day, even to older students. Because we're finding out, like you said, more and more the research is showing the more they move, whether it's at a stand-up desk or a cycle desk, or if they have extra recess, social, emotional, behavioral, but even just academic, kids do better. Absolutely, and if we think back to, and if you just look back to how kids used to grow up, they used to do that themselves, and so our culture has kind of shifted to all this organized stuff, which in a certain sense is good, but in a certain sense is bad, because now kids aren't doing that themselves, and they're not having that play and developing as a person with play. And so like thinking about that, and then moving forward in athletics here at LaSalle, we're gonna keep on with that mindset. I remember when I was a principal up in the Twin Cities, I had been a principal for a few years, and a PE teacher at one of the high schools said that the kids now are a minority of the students know how to have like a pickup game. Everyone lines up on the fence and you pick teams kind of thing, because all their games are organized for them, which, like you said, in a sense is good. Kids have more opportunities than probably you and I did. But the kids don't even know how to do it anymore. How do you just organize and split up teams, shoot free throws, to pick teams or whatever it is? Yeah, it's interesting too, because if you look at what businesses say, so I've read this year, I've had an opportunity to take some professional developments on like team building, and a lot of times even in businesses, they talk about how that skill of just organizing, those skills that you learn kind of on the playground, out playing and pickup games and all those things, those are starting to diminish amongst the workforce, and then hiring people with those skills. So that's interesting too, I think. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of impacts, and so small things make big differences. Okay, so totally shifting gears. I have no transition for this. But something that was new this year, not related to COVID or Direct or anything else, was Lauren Kilberg and you started, or kind of pulled together some resources for Made for More, I think if you're calling it that, the kind of family life curriculum that you've been teaching with the middle schoolers. Yeah, and Lauren is doing a great job with that, and she has pulled me aboard with her to teach a few lessons with her. But yes, she has done an amazing job here with that, and incorporating theology of the body, and so Lauren has done an awesome job with that, and I'm riding her coattails. She might say the same thing, that she's riding yours, but I don't know. But so that you meet with the students, and you guys have kind of Q&A, and you have some set curriculum. Yeah. Right? And so Lauren this is going to explain everything why I'm riding her coattails and she's not doing the other way around. So for a month kind of leading up to the end of the year, she's been talking about theology of the body. In religion classes. Yes, in religion classes, and the human person. So at different level, or for the different grades, kind of different levels of that. And then towards the end, I come in and talk about, for one lesson, or a few, depending on the grade, kind of the health aspect of that. So more of like the biology piece of that. Since I'm health certified, I offered to help her teach those areas. But yeah, it's mainly Lauren teaching the awesomeness of what theology of the body is, and then but you know that stuff, because in your interview you brought up theology of the body. It did. First time I ever interviewed a PE teacher who said, well, yeah, I'm going to use theology of the body to inform how I teach. Yeah. Well, I confess that during the interview that I haven't read the whole thing, but I've read a ton of commentaries about it, and excerpts of it, and sometime I just need to sit down and read the whole thing. Well, the fact that you need to bring it up was sufficient. So all in all, this year, here we got a week left. What's been the most challenging part of the year? I think the biggest part has been there's just, this year has separated us. There's always been the barrier in between us. There's always been that barrier and that lack of human touch, and not necessarily actual human touch, but just like the little things, right? The smiles, the
high fives, those little things that are so important in relationships and who we are as people, that were kind of taken away or halted for a while. And I think that really impacted kids, and it definitely impacted me as a teacher, because that's one thing that I want to have one-on-one. I want to meet the kid where they are, the student where they are, and I felt like that's a big part of how I teach, and forming relationships. And when you take those important little things out, it's just harder to do.
It's harder to do those things, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And flipping that, what's been the best part of the year?
For me personally, I've grown so much this year. It's been amazing. It's amazing what God can do if you allow Him to work through even your smallest sufferings, or I don't know. I think that this year's just looking back, God's worked through my life, through my relationship with my wife, my kids, in ways that were so good, even though you kind of suffer through those things. And so that's been the best part, is just the growth.
Awesome. Last question before we have a little bit of fun here. I teased out last week in the newsletter that we have some fun projects coming up this summer. I'm curious, and plenty of those are going to be things that you're going to see. Okay, there's a little bit more of a clue that you'll see every day or regularly. Would you care to tease out any of those anymore and give people, maybe tell them what one of the things is, or give them some sense of what any of them are? Or?
Yeah, no, we've been, not only have we worked on things this year that you can't see on the outside from the derecho and whatnot. We kind of thought that we should continue on with that momentum, and build up kind of the look and the feel of what it's like to be here at school or in the gym specifically. And so I think everybody is going to be very pleasantly surprised and happy with the feel of coming to conferences or the basketball games or the volleyball games or whatever next year, because we are pushing forward and hopefully making every aspect of people's experience here a better place.
All right.
So, yeah.
It's dunk tank. We're getting a dunk tank. I like that. You ready for a game?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, let's play favorites.
Why are you smiling like that?
I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite.
Make work your favorite. That's your favorite, okay?
Okay.
Work is your new favorite.
Fine.
All right, so friends, at Holy Family, we always say we don't play favorites, but we can play favorites. So this is the game called Favorites, where I just name a thing, and then you tell me your favorite of that thing. Or you can do like your top three. You can work your way 3, 2, 1 if you want to. So for example, PE game. So just to clarify, when we hired you, when we were interviewing you, you said you like to do PE games. So maybe explain what that is, and then tell us your favorite PE game.
So just games that we use in PE to teach certain skills or certain qualities, I guess. Yeah, just any
that good PE teachers do, because probably most PE teachers don't even know what that is. What do you mean? So you play tennis and basketball and football and soccer and baseball?
My whole in PE is I'm going to teach them games. Well, I think helps to teach games that help level the playing field, so they haven't played, so they have to use parts of their brain that are use problem solving, and usually increases competitiveness, and usually helps communication as well. So I use
increases competitiveness in terms of makes things competitive.
If you play
makes it so all the kids can compete.
Correct. Yeah. So if you thanks for clarifying. If you play a game, let's say basketball, because basketball is my favorite game. If you play basketball, you're going to have somebody like me who plays basketball their whole life and loved it. Then you're going to have to ask that person who plays it outside of school to play against somebody who doesn't play it at all.
Yeah.
Correct, and is that just at a different level. But if you play a game like New Zealand bat ball, then all of a sudden
big base.
Yeah, big base. You're leveling the playing field because people have to think differently, and
So that kid who loves basketball is still going to be into it.
correct.
And then that kid who would much rather be watching a documentary about, turtles is still going to be super into it because the way you do it, like all the kids are on board. It's super fun to watch.
Yep. So that's New Zealand bat ball. That's my answer.
The best name too.
Yeah.
I'll say this, and this just occurred to me. So let me color this for parents. Like when I give a tour, right? We always come out on the balcony and we watch PE for a minute, and you say hello. And what I have never seen in 2 years of having you as a PE teacher is a few kids sitting in the corner talking, not wanting to play. I've never seen it. I've never seen that in your class. Think about that.
Yeah.
That's a revelation. I mean, because that is the standard. Because not everyone loves gym class, man, but everyone loves your gym class because the way you teach it, you're a pro.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Okay, pizza topping.
Oh my goodness, sausage. Let's go sausage.
I like the Happy Joe's sausage and mushroom is pretty bomb.
I mean, Meat Lovers is always what my go-to. Whatever the local place.
Do you know what's super, super, super crazy good? I'm going for my second time in a week tonight to Solon, Iowa, to Red Vespa.
I've never been there.
Oh my gosh.
Just a pizza place?
Laura and I went on our first date in 18 months last weekend. We're going back tonight. It is so good. Because we lived in Italy for a while, and so we're kind of snobby about authentic Italian pizza. And it is very Napola, whatever it's called, certified as like authentic Italian style pizza. It is so good. And I'm telling you, like if it were in Minneapolis and we still lived there, that would probably still be our favorite restaurant. It was so good.
Nice. Yeah,
good. Highly, highly recommend.
Well, I might have a reason to go to Italy in a few years, so I'm gonna.
Are you being cryptic on purpose, or can?
What's that?
No,
I think people know.
You're going to visit your brother.
My brother will be studying over there, so I think we will be going back.
And will he be at the? He won't be at the end. She'll be at the Gregorian. You don't know.
Oh gosh, I just talked to him about this. Why can't I?
He'll be living at the Casa Santa Maria.
Correct. And then he'll be going to the Gregorian. They speak Italian, right? He's going to the one that's English speaking. So
he's going to the Ange.
Yeah.
Yay!
Because he did the Gregorian last time.
Boo.
With Father Mark.
Sorry, Father Mark. I said it the Angelicum, so I'm an Ange guy. Anyway, it's a friendly rivalry. Favorite sport to watch?
Basketball.
Pro, college, high school?
College.
Team? You and I.
Well, you and I, but I really don't care. I am really just a lover of basketball.
How do you feel about the portal? Do you feel like it's going to ruin basketball?
Say that again?
How kids can transfer so quickly now?
Oh, do you want another podcast of my takes on?
Okay, sorry. I mean, that's a rabbit hole. Favorite sport to play?
Basketball.
Okay. And do you play the two? What do you play?
So when I was in high school, believe it or not, I was the center. So we did kind of small ball, but I played with some really good players. Played with some Corvers, and to get on the floor, I had to adjust how I played to make sure that I was there. So yes.
Okay.
A lot of hustle.
Favorite snack?
Oh man, this is going to change from time to time. I'm a huge snacker, and my wife will tell you that I snack too much. But it's going to be Chex Mix.
Oh. Okay.
I love Triscuits. I love
rosemary olive oil Triscuits are crazy good.
My favorite are the balsamic vinaigrettes.
Okay.
Yeah, I love crackers. I love certain very specific types of crackers.
And donuts. That's like your favorite guilty pleasure,
donuts.
Right?
Yeah, I that's not really a snack. That's more of just like I'm constantly eating those. So
3 kids that are, what are they? 10, 4, and 1.
Cecilia is 7.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Finian is 4.
7, 4, and 1.
And 1. Cecilia's about to turn 8.
Okay, so I guess I'll
June.
2 her off.
Yeah.
She's very mature for 7. Favorite bedtime routine or bedtime story or thing that doesn't make you slam your head against the wall during bedtime?
When I talk to parents, they're like, yeah, we read to our kids like 2 or 3 books. In my family, it's like we got to read like an hour, which is good, and I do like it. But definitely reading, yeah.
Cool.
Reading. Right now, my wife is reading Lion Witch in the Wardrobe to Cecilia.
Sweet.
And Finn likes volcanoes and rocks and geology.
Nice.
So we're into that
Nice.
right now.
I was lately. They just had the graduation for the 4-year-olds going into kindergarten, and just my luck, just fortunately, the last couple of weeks, John and I have been reading the Bible together before bed. His children's Bible, we got a really good one, and so that's what he put down as his favorite book. So I was like, yeah, his favorite book is the Bible. But the other book we read every night is Laura made a snapfish book about when Freddie had something very scary and serious called myocarditis. Doesn't have a good survival rate. It was very scary and sad, and so Laura made a book about it, and it's just like pages and pages of pictures of us when we were younger parents with Freddie when he was 3, and talking about his PICC line and the meds and all these things, and getting anointed by the priest and all these things. And Johnny wants me to read it to him every night, like these big long pages. And so he's like, Dad, what's a PICC line? What's a IV? What's a CAT scan? Just like all these things. It's so funny, but he wants me to read it all.
Maybe he'll get interested, and that's what will help him become a doctor.
We can hope. Well, he wants to be a paleontologist, but we can hope. He likes rocks and bones and whatever.
They do play together, so.
Yes, they do, and I'm thankful for that. Favorite family activity?
I like when we go to the park. I like when we go for a walk.
Do you guys have favorite parks to go to?
We have one that we can walk to, but I like Knoll Park. It's actually, there's usually not a lot of people up there, but it's in Robbins. It's north of, it's kind of by where we live.
Okay, totally off the, well, it's adjacent to that. You said the other day, your favorite, the best exercise is walking. Why is that? In short.
Because it's the easiest thing for people to do consistently, and because it's a whole body exercise.
Awesome. I just realized how late it is. I gotta get to the parking lot. So if you're in the parking lot and you were late because of me, I apologize. But quickly, favorite book of the Bible?
Job.
Why? Oh, I know why. But tell the people.
I love stories of perseverance.
I thought you were gonna say I love suffering.
Overcoming, understanding suffering.
Awesome. Movie.
Indiana Jones and Indiana Jones and maybe The Last Crusade. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Do you know Parker in 3rd grade?
Yes.
Big guy. I saw him this morning dropping off Johnny, and he was looking at these books with another kiddo. I can't remember who the other one was. But he goes, Young Indiana Jones! He's a bookworm, Parker is. He's like, Young Indiana Jones! I was like, yes! I'm so excited.
I grew up on Indiana Jones, Star Wars, and Back to the Future. Those 3 trilogies I watched with my dad.
Good years. Last but not least, what's your favorite smell? No. Yes, smell.
Smell?
Yeah.
Jasmine. Okay, this is kind of a story. It brings me back. When you go to see somebody at the NAC, they have jasmine growing on their walls. Yeah, okay. And it was blooming when we were there, and it was like I've never smelled flowers like that. So.
Hey man, thanks a lot. Do you have anything else you want to say to anybody who's listening?
No. Thank you for listening.
No one ever does. Hi Mom, have a good weekend everybody. God bless.